So one of the most interesting issues that we usually talk about during the land use and management planning, probably you could haven't had sufficient information about it, but anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters right now is that what exactly do we talk about when we talk about the planning of the land and the farm? How are we going to utilize the land? It's not about on the production side. I understand that a lot of people would want to know exactly what motivates us to say, as AfroStrain, let's give farmers a service called the land use and management planning. So one of the essential things is that there is usually the neglected part, which is the business team that is going to transform the plan into action, or otherwise the investment guys who are going to assist you in terms of how is the team going to be effectively operating. You understand that there is, number one, the issue of the technical guys who are going to assist in the project implementation, the human resource, the people, the employees that are going to work with you in terms of making sure that the day-to-day operations are being met. You wouldn't want a situation where if you're not there, the business is not going to run. So in fact, a lot of people can actually pride themselves in saying, "Kanandisipo national farmer." That is the mentality of not having a business. A business system is very, very essential if we are to develop something that transforms. So in the land use and the management planning, which is why if you would listen very carefully when we say we are going to do, or we are doing a land use in management planning, it's the land use, the management planning, the labor requirement, the labor and personnel planning, the machinery adequacy and assessment of what is required. You wouldn't want to over capitalize in terms of equipment. You understand that capital expenditure is one of the most expensive things when you are doing a business. At least even if you had someone who is into business, if you ask anyone, they will tell you that capex is one of the biggest cost. So when you've done that, we need to all to go on and we've analyzed the human resource requirements. We now go on to the other things that are also essential, the investment appraisal. Which projects are going to make more money? If you would ask me right now, besides precision farming, besides the business of agriculture, if you were to force me into robbery, I would be one of those notorious robbers who will be focusing on the banks, because that's where the money is. I wouldn't want to be sued for very, very little money, because the higher the risk, the higher the returns, the higher the pain at the same time. So as someone who is so much invested in agribusiness, knowing which crops are of high value and how to create consistency in terms of quality, which is why right now when you talk about land use planning, of all the people, in fact, if the people are actually 10, if 9 of them are not talking about AfroStrain, just know that you have not yet started land use planning. You have not started building a business, a generational wealth. So for you to say I've done a land use plan, it has to be through AfroStrain, because we know that what is needed. We've redesigned the empirical ways, the ordinary ways of doing it. Of course, in fact, in Zimbabwe, it was last done 1961 by other guys like Vincent and Thomas. In fact, the reason why it started was of course of when the guys came, the settlers, when they said, this is the lands, let's use this for this one, let's put the Eastern Highlands, the high veld, the lower veld, and this part, let's categorize this land to this level. But that one does not matter. What matters right now is that as a person and as an individual, what are you going to utilize your land effectively? To what extent are you getting the best that you can with all the resources that you have? So you understand that a lot of people tend to be egocentric and say, I want to be a hero of almost this, I do this. You will notice that at a farm that has got maybe 10 hectares, a person has got 10 projects, each hectare per project. That's not how a business should operate. Well, it could be inspiring to say, I've got a mixed farm, but you just have got pieces of things that you should be actually not even focusing on. So with the land use and management planning, we streamline all those things. You keep focus on what matters. and not just leap jump into all shiny objects. They do not end, by the way. So when you've got the focus, you develop the passion on what are you supposed to do. For example, this greenhouse is the third one in 4 of the greenhouses that were constructed on this 7-hectare plot here in Mashonaland East. So you notice that it's very essential to work with the people that understand the business. So when you understand the business, it becomes very easy for you to just continuously and improve on the things that you can. I'm sure you get the point. So apart from the labor requirement, apart from the land capability, apart from the investment appraisal, which we do, the farm resource machinery adequacy, and so forth, it then comes to the human capital. I'm sure you understand that for a business to function, there has to be land, there has to be enterprise. Which enterprise are going to be the most viable? There has to be the human resource, there has to be labor, there has to be you, the investor. So that's what we then do as the farm experts, which is why you notice that in almost every time when people talk about land use planning, when people talk about precision farming, you always hear our name coming on the first list. So I understand that you could have, probably that would be your first time to hear about AfroStain, but that one doesn't matter. What matters right now is that we've created a time-tested and a timeless system that allows you to develop a business for yourself, for your future, and for the grandchildren to come. Thank you very much.